Hey, welcome to another great episode of the Real Deal Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Courtney Harding. Glad to be back. Happy Monday. It's a new week, and it is week 3 of my Women's History Month series. I have an incredible guest waiting in the wings that I'm going to be featuring on my Women's History Month series. I'm very excited to get to know her a little bit, and she's going to share her story as well. But before we bring her on, hit my music. Let's get it. All right. Once again, welcome to another great episode of the Real Deal Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Courtney Harding. Glad to be back with a new and incredible episode. Once again, it is week 3 of my Women's History Month series. I've had an incredible guest that I featured on this series, and like I said, I have another one here. As I said, the incredible women in this space of content creation and sports, media, journalism, and everything. So it's been business. It's been great to have a lot of these incredible women. So you can follow the show and you can listen to all the previous podcasts on this Women's History Month series on all the podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, also on YouTube, BS3 Network, YouTube channel, BS3 Network, Roku channel, BS3TVLive.com. And you can follow the shows also in the episodes on all the social media platforms, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Blue Sky at Get the Real Deal, or Courtney Harding on all those platforms as well. All right, let me bring in my incredible guest who we're featuring the first one of the third week of my Women's History Month series. She is the Senior Ad Marketing Program Manager for The Athletic. She's been from Boston, where she currently lives and works. Also holds a bachelor's degree in communications with a double focus on media, journalism, and PR advertising. And we're going to get into all of that as well. So welcome to the show, Valerie Remy. Thank you for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you on. Glad to have you on here on this Women's History Month series. And we connected probably a couple months ago and kind of just was chatting and things like that. And we made it happen. So
Yeah.
glad to feature you on this series. So again, thank you. Really appreciate it. And you got quite the resume. So we're going to get into all of that as well. Yeah, Valerie Remy on the show here again, at Senior Ad Marketing Program Manager of The Athletic, and said she's been into journalism, media. So first question I'm going to ask, and I ask my first time guests always, who is Valerie Remy, and how did you get to where you are today?
Wow. That is I don't know if that's a hard question or an easy question. Never got
Depends how you take it, right?
I gotta think more on this. But
Yeah.
I would say I am somebody who is very multi-faced. That's like a word that I like to
Hmm.
use when it comes to myself because I'm not like one dimensional. I think Angel Reese has said that before, where
Yes.
she has talked about how she is not a one dimensional person. And I loved that because I could relate. I'm somebody that likes to kind of dip and dabble into a lot of things and try things, even if I like might, see that I like don't like it or it might not resonate with me, but I'm somebody that's always willing to try something, willing to like do a little bit of everything, which
Yeah.
kind of shows too in my degree. I couldn't just stick to journalism. I wanted to do everything under the sun. So I like to call myself like a multi-faced person. And that kind of led me to where I am in my career now, where I did a lot of things in my career, in school, but also extracurriculars as well too, that kind of built me up into where I'm at now. So yeah, it's just like a little bit about me.
I like that multi-face. I like that because it does show how much you do, how much you love to do. You're trying
Mhm.
multiple things, show versatility, and then in this business like sports, media, journalism, you need those aspects of being multi-face,
Mhm.
multifaceted. Things like that. And Angel, yes, I love that Angel Reese did say that. And she said, hey, I'm not one dimensional. I could do multiple things, and everything too. So I think a lot of people can relate to that as well. But I really like that definition of what that means. So, grew up in Boston. Uh, Boston is a definitely a sports city, sports town. I should say championship. I should say town through and
Yeah.
through. So, growing up in Boston, talk about the culture of you growing up. Talk about the sports culture and media and what got you through there. And you said you still live in Boston and work in Boston as well.
Yeah, so I still live in Boston. Boston, like you said, we are a sports city, title town, okay? I'm a
Title
Boston
town.
fan through and through, every single team. We get the haters, and I'm fine with that. I'm used to it at this point. I don't care.
Right.
I I grew up in such a great era of sports. I'm 29, so like my entire elementary, middle school, high school experience was literally seeing the Patriots winning, Celtics winning, Bruins winning, Red Sox winning, like back to back to back to back. And it was honestly so crazy to experience that because it was like we got to the point where we were just like, okay, so there's gonna be a parade. We know we're gonna ditch school. We're all gonna go to the
Yeah.
became like a regular thing for us. But yeah, sports is really, really big. We have a lot of pride in Boston. Like for such a small city and like a small state, we're very loud and proud when it comes to sports, not only on like a national level, but also like a collegiate level and also like a local level. Like whenever Harvard is going to verse Yale, that's usually a huge event because like
Yeah.
they're the two biggest, Ivy Leagues and they're going to, go against each other. And then when it comes to like local sports, like my high school in particular, I don't know the exact percentage, but it was like high 90s of participation of students that participated in sports. Like
Mm.
being active in some way, shape, or form, whether it was like you ran track or you played basketball, whether you did it for one season, whether you were a three-sport athlete, like everyone played a sport at some point. Like it was like a thing for us to do there was like different programs like soccer stars or whatever and like starting from kindergarten. So like just the environment we grew up in Boston is like you always did a sport, whether it was like through your school, through extracurriculars, through your town or whatever. And then it just kind of built into like how the vibe is with like the national teams and the college teams and all of that stuff. So where sports is like a huge, huge aspect of Boston.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, not just on a national level, but just on a, the said the collegiate level, local level, and
Mhm.
everything too. It's one of those cities. I live in Philly, so Philly is the same way. It's just, it's just you you just bleed that with just winnings and things like that, but just in general, the sports town. And you said when all four, the major sports at the least, and you got the college sports too, but all four major sports when they're really like winning or anything like that, it just makes it so much fun just to be in the city in
Yeah.
itself and everything too. As you said, Boston. I know at one point there was a one couple for a few years. As you said, it was just championship at the championship at the championship. That was during the Patriots run, the Celtics run, the Bruins, and then the Red Sox was winning. It was like Boston just keeps winning and everything too. So you got to live that and see, okay, yeah, we are title town, especially for those. I know those couple years, it was like back to back to back to back. It just kept winning and winning
Yeah.
and winning for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. So now, as you said, you worked at CBS Boston too. So talk
Mhm.
about a little bit more of that background of covering those sports and just being in at CBS Boston.
Yeah, so when I was at CBS Boston, it was right after I graduated from undergrad, and I worked mostly in the advertising and marketing department over there.
Right.
And as most people know, CBS is huge with the NFL because they have like such a great partnership with them. So that was
Hmm.
like a lot of what I focused on in particular and also college sports as well too. So there were times where I would go to like Gillette and like do some things with like the Patriots players and stuff like that, depending on like what brand I'm working with. Because like I said, I did more so like advertising and marketing. So like
Yeah.
if we had specific brands I wanted to work with athletes and stuff like that, and we had the connection to Gillette and to the Patriots players, like we would be there and we would be doing things with them, whether it was like on-site events, maybe an ad or two here and there. So that's a lot of what we focused on and like college sports as well too. There was a period of time where I remember my time being there, we were doing like a lot of ads and partnerships for even like HBCU games, which I know like for some people, like it's still very new and like trying to like popularize it and commercialize it the same way we do with other college sports. So that was something that was really cool to like experience kind of like grow as like other parts of the sports area or industry was growing as well too.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, with your bio, what you had sent to me, and as we were talking, you were talking about how much you're definitely in PR and advertising, but you said you just kept just being in that media industry and
Yep.
everything too. So, like you said, you're ingrained in that. So you transitioned from CBS Boston to the Athletic now, New York Times,
Mhm.
own company, which I am a subscriber of the
Yes,
Athletic. Oh yeah, for
we love
years.
to hear
For
that.
years, I love,
Yes,
yes, I love, love their writing and things like that, and then been doing it for years. And now March Madness is here. It's one of the best coverages to go
yes.
to and for that on the women's and men's side. But it's got great writers and there's a great team over there as well. But talk about that transition and how that all came about of transition from CBS Boston to the Athletic.
Yeah, so even when I was entering the media space, like backtracking even like into college, I was not like targeting working in sports. Like I just wanted to
Mhm.
work in media in general, but I was like if I could work in sports, that would be great. Like,
Right.
being from Boston, like just being around it, I had played sports a little bit growing up as well too. Um so I was like, okay, if I could work in it, like great. But I also wanted to be realistic and understand that sports is not an easy industry to get into.
Yes.
It is like slim pickings. You
Hmm.
really have to stand out. It's extremely hard. So I just didn't want to only solely focus on it. And I just kind of wanted to just be in media in general and figure out in what capacity. And if I wasn't gonna go the sports route career wise, I knew for me I always had a love for sports, so that would mean like I would still go to games, like I could still maybe do passion projects related to sports that's not entirely my career. So
Yeah.
I knew that going into it, and then obviously I had my time at CBS Boston, and then when I kind of had a time because I was at CBS Boston for about 4.5 years, and then I was just like, okay, I think it's my time to transition because I had just graduated from my grad program like a year prior, and I was like, okay, maybe I can look into something different because I'm so used to what I've been doing here, and I want to go to somewhere I can like grow.
Right.
And I had actually a couple of friends that had worked at the Athletic, and they had so much, like, good things to say about it. And so when I saw the opening, I was like, "You know what? Let me apply and, like, see what it's hitting for, like, what it's about." I'm not gonna lie. I was like, "Y'all reaching out to me?" I was surprised.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, so many people are going for the same opportunity. I think by the time
Right.
I applied, it had like over like 1,000 applicants at that point. So
Wow.
I literally, yeah, I like will never forget that. And so I was like, they'll probably not say anything, but whatever. And so when they reached out, I was like, oh my gosh, this is great.
Yeah.
Went through my interview process and everything. I loved everything about the company. Um, just the fact that I think what really just kind of made me love it the most is the fact that the athletics in a special place right now where like they're growing and like being a
Mhm.
part of the growth is like really really exciting, especially because like I'm also growing in my career, so it's like we're growing together. So
Right.
I'm at a space where like I can almost like create my own, and I really wanted that because that's different from where I was before at CBS, which is more of like considered a legacy company and a legacy media company where like a lot of things are kind of just like given to you or they've been in the works for years, and so by the
Yeah.
time you get into that role they're like, oh, we've done this same thing for like 25 years now, like just keep doing this, it's worked well for us and stuff like that. And working at the athletic, it kind of gave me the opportunity to be a little bit more creative and be like, I think this would be a good route to go. Like, can we try this project? Can we try to do this? And it's been really fun to be a part of that.
Absolutely. And then we're gonna get into some of the projects that you've worked with and worked on and everything. A lot of great things. So we got a question in the chat here. Nathan River Sandra, he says hello and says hello and everything. He says, what's your favorite moment in your career so far?
My favorite moment in my career, um, hmm, oh, that's a lot. I think. I worked on can I get into the projects?
Yeah, yeah. Let's go right into it. It's cool.
So
Let's get into it.
I had recently worked on a project this past winter with Grey Goose and Anthony Davis, and
Mhm.
it was a project that came in like super at the end of the year, and like this was something that we typically would be like, this is too much of a turnaround to do, but we were like, you know what, let's we're gonna attempt this, we're gonna make this
Right.
work, we're gonna make this work.
Yeah.
So it was fast and going, and we basically did a shoot, like I said, with Anthony Davis and Grey Goose. They had reached out and they wanted to do something surrounding the Christmas Day game as well as All-Star Weekend, and we know that fashion is really big in the NBA.
Yeah.
So we were like, maybe we can do like something like tunnel walky, like him going through a tunnel walk, or maybe like him showing the outfits that he's gonna wear to prepare for like a game like this. How does he relax? Kind of like very casual, asking questions. And so we did two versions of those videos, and one was like I said, the Christmas Day game one, where he kind of like is making like a holiday cocktail with Grey Goose and has like this
Mm.
really cool outfit on and is like talking about his outfit, talking about his favorite moments in the NBA. And then the second video that came out was All-Star Weekend. And we're like, oh, how do you prep for All-Star Weekend? And he's like making an espresso martini at the same time. And it's
Yeah.
super casual. And his stylist is even featured in it as well, too. So that was my favorite moment because it was something that like once we locked it in, we were just hitting the ground running.
Right.
Just the entire project was super successful. Anthony Davis was awesome to work with. He's so funny, so nice. He took every single person's hand at the end of the shoot, and he was just like it just made the shoot better because his personality came out a lot
Right.
throughout the shoot and just like being in the room and stuff like that. So that was probably one of my favorite moments.
That's a great moment. I mean, that's a tremendous moment. And the thing is too, as you said, it brought the personality out of Anthony Davis. Anytime you watch any most athletes, I would say, it's all about they're locked in for the season, whatever sport it is.
Yeah.
But to see something like that, to work on something like that, we said Grey Goose, Anthony Davis, and to get his personality out. And it talks about storytelling, and storytelling is very important. And I know the athletic, that's one of the things that they're really
Yeah.
good at is their storytelling. I think that's tremendous too. And you said, and you're really locked into a lot of passion projects as well. You said you launched the Afro Focus concert, contributing marketing initiatives, volunteering with Big Brothers, Big Sisters,
Mhm.
and everything too. Being advocates for all those things. Talk about where those things, having a passion for projects like that. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, so I'm somebody, like I said, I'm not one dimensional like whatsoever.
Yeah, right,
I say this is one thing that I say to students a lot whenever like I talk to students and they ask me questions, and I'm just like, um there's a lot of things that you can put on paper. You can put a lot of things on your resume. You can go for just the internship and the job.
right,
But what makes a lot of people stand out is like sometimes the experiences and extracurriculars and like your other passions really help stand out when you're going for certain jobs. And also, like, you gain a lot of skills doing some of these projects like that are outside of like what you typically do, whether it's gaining skills networking wise, relationship building wise, just like skills that you might need to like learn. Like when I was in college, I did like a lot of extracurriculars being part of clubs, and like I learned how to like basically work with like celebrities because we I would help out with hosting like our college concerts, like our spring weekend.
right,
And so
right,
like,
right.
sitting there and I'm like, okay, like this is how we do the contracts. And I'm like, I don't know, like 21 at the time, like in college, like don't have a job yet, still trying to finish up my degree. But like that has helped me to now where like I'm doing contracts, I'm kind of like negotiating, I'm talking to these people, but that all came from like doing those extracurriculars, like and those passion projects in college, outside of work. And just making sure like I'm kind of like brushing up on my skills and making sure that I know where my strengths are, but also identifying where my weaknesses are through these passion projects and through these extracurricular. In terms of big brother, big sister, I always told myself when I was older that I would always give back in some type of
Mm,
way.
yeah,
I grew up like I have two immigrant parents. I had grown up in housing, like I'm pretty transparent about this. I've had times of struggle and stuff like that, but one thing that always kind of like kept me going were the community helpers, whether it was like someone for Boys and Girls Club that would come into our neighborhood, like after school activities, like they really like helped me. Like I still talk to one of my she was like our big sister when I was in like elementary school. And like now I'm like well past out of, college, and I still communicate with her. And I've like known her since I was 5. And she was in
Wow.
college at the time. So like I was like, okay, if this person had an impact on me, like I would like to do that myself for somebody else because it had such an impact on like who I am as a person now. And I know I wanted to like give back in some type of way. So that's how like the big brother, big sister kind of situation came in.
I like that. I really do, and it just shows. Um, you said who you are and continue to be, and you said giving back, having that community, and having those programs like Big Brother, Big Sister, communities. I grew up like you said, having community centers and things like that, just to have those type of programs.
Mhm.
And and I know schools these days, some of them they've lost funding and things like that, and in a lot of cities and things like that. So it's good to see Big Brother Big Sister programs like that is still thriving and helping helping kids and having mentors and things like that because they definitely need it. And it's good that, as you said, you're giving back to something that you grew up with and now giving back to others, that because you said the impact of with kids, it's tremendous, and it's good to see, to have that. So you just never know what type of impact you will have with any kids, like that is just trying to find direction in life in general.
Yeah, I know for sure.
For definitely so. But I'm that was I love that you shared that, as well. Let's go back to I want to hit back up to, you said the being a marketing program manager, senior ad marketing program manager, with your day to day. The one thing I did wanted to talk to you about is you said you're leading the Athletics Black Employee Resource Group.
Mhm.
Congratulations on that. That's big time as well. Talk about that and what your day to day is like. I'm sure it varies each and every day. I'm sure today is different from last week, and today's gonna be different from tomorrow. But talk a little bit about, what you do as a senior ad marketing program manager.
Yeah. So, like you said, my day to day looks completely different.
Yes.
So in smaller terms, kind of what I do is I oversee a lot of our larger and more complex like partnerships, ad
Mm,
partners, marketing partners, all of that stuff. So if you're ever like on our site and like or on our like social pages and like you might see like an ad or two or something like that,
yeah.
it might not be all of them, but I might have had a hand in kind of getting some of those up depending on what the deal is. So I know on our Instagram, back in December when we were doing the Anthony Davis thing, we had posted that. That was a project that I had worked on. So anything like that is kind of what I handle. So my day to day, like I said, is different every single day. Um, we have brands reach out to us all the time, and so like we're talking to them, we're asking them like what are you looking for, like how can we partner with you. So it's like one day it could be like very client heavy where I'm just talking to brands all day, or it could be like very internal heavy where I'm talking to just kind of like my colleagues and coworkers, and like we're talking about contracts, we're talking about finances, do we have enough money for this, do we not have enough money to it for this, should we budget this, should we do an event, like every day is different. Then it could be a whole day I'm talking to our lawyer and we're like, is this legal? Like, can we do this? Is this not
Yeah.
okay? Can you review this contract? Can you help redline this? Like, it is different every single day. And then sometimes it's like, okay, we lock this deal down. We have to go to the shoot. Can you fly to this city in like 3 weeks?
Mm,
So it's really just different every day, which I love. Um, but yeah, that's kind of like what my day to day is like. In terms of like the Black Employee Resource Group, so we have all of our ERGs like most companies do, where you kind of like have like another outlet for people who kind of like either are similar to you, like you, or just even allies who kind of want to support people that are like you. And we have a Black Employees Resource Group, and that's what I co-lead with my partner. And we do different events throughout the year. And with us, it's a little bit different since the athletic is fully remote. So we have the challenge of being creative and trying to figure out how we can put these events on, and also being supportive to employees from a distance.
Okay, yeah, I love that. It's interesting too, as you said, just the day to day of what you do. And working remote is because I work remote too, and a lot of the teams I have around they're different cities and things like that. But it does show some type of creativity in a way. I'm sure in person would be much better. But you said you could still get a lot of things done and
Yeah.
accomplished when you're working remote because you said now you just have to be creative with how you do and everything like that. So that's very cool. If you could create one, since you're from Boston, live in Boston, one dream event to increase sports access for kids in Boston, what would it look like?
Ooh. Um, wow. I probably would want to create some type of sports event that maybe targets like the sports that people don't have as much access to. So
Hmm.
we were recently talking about how hockey, like ice hockey, is really
Yeah,
hard for people to get into because it's actually like a really expensive sport to just kind of
yeah,
um, prepare for, because when you play basketball, all it is just really just getting a basketball and just building up your skills.
yeah,
Whereas with ice hockey, you have to get the gear, you have to take the lessons. They also just might not be as accessible. They're not ice hockey rinks everywhere the same way that there are um basketball courts in as much places, or somewhere like you could put a basketball court in your whole backyard. And it's even reflected in like the the gaps in like the National Hockey League when in terms of like diversity and stuff like that. So that is something that I would love to do, is like with kids that are younger, like expose them maybe to sports that they might not think about that they would like, and kind of allow them to kind of just grow within it and be like, actually, you know what, I do like ice hockey. I would have never known if I didn't know about this program.
yeah. That would be yes, something like that. I think would be cool because you said hockey can be a very expensive. A lot of these sports can be expensive, but hockey for sure because of the equipment and
Yeah.
everything, and having access to ice hockey rinks and things like that. So to build a, like I said, a program like that, you said like I said, I give you free reign. You have all the money, and you can just do whatever. Here's access to what you could do, and build some type of build a program that would like give kids access to be able to play their favorite sport, and said a sport that still popular, but it's not as popular as like football or basketball and things like that. But still very popular for sure.
Yeah.
But that'll be great for for kids to be able to have access to.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like that as well. So also they said just recently Boston had the game attendance 30,000 set a new
Yeah.
record for the largest home opener crowd in NWSL history. Talk about that, what that felt like, just to, as you said, Boston and everything. So it's to see something like that, historic, like Boston needs more history, but no, but history, no, history made though. That's cool. That had to have been pretty dope as well.
Yeah, I had been following like their development since the beginning. I was
Mm.
so excited. I played soccer when I was in elementary school, like very little, but my family is from the Caribbean, so soccer, 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 like they are big on soccer. So like
Yeah,
I grew up like watching it here and there, and I was super excited that the women's Boston team finally was able to just kind of start up, and seeing how like big the first crowd it was just goes to show, one, about how serious we are about our sports team. We do not play. And
yeah,
then two, just seeing the support for just women in sports in general. There are women in sports right now just going through a really good phase of just having a lot of
yeah,
support and like really breaking the ceiling. So it's really nice seeing that, and seeing that it's continuing to grow. And like I don't know. I like watched all that happen. I like texted my cousin and I was like, "When are we getting tickets to the next game? Like, we need to figure out our
yeah,
schedule so we can go." Like,
yeah,
and I was like telling him, I was like, "Bring your daughter too," because his daughter is 4 or 5, and like he's a huge soccer fan.
yeah.
And so we were like, maybe she'll like soccer just because she's watching these women, you know? So we're like, look, we got to bring her.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what I love about just kind of the attendance and the support and like just the growth. And we're even trying to be like, yo, we need a WNBA team here too.
I
Stat.
agree. I agree. Totally agree. 100%. And as you saw with Unrivaled as well, then
Yeah.
when they traveled here to Philly, record attendance.
Mhm.
I mean, they came. I mean, we came out and showed out for that. I'm sure Boston's probably going to be in that rotation soon, with especially with Unrivaled. But as you said, a W team needs to be there as well. Philly gets one in 2030, but
Ugh,
like you said,
lucky.
hopefully they get this this collective, but the CBA settled and everything too. But I think it will sooner or later. But yeah, but they said just the attention, the awareness of women's sports is continue to keep increasing, exploding. And I've said this for years. Investment. That's all it needed. It just
Yeah.
needed to be invested because it's already been there. The product has been there for many years. Now networks and it's starting to get that. So just seeing it in all phases from soccer to basketball to volleyball to the Olympics, track and field, whatever it is, women's sports is just continue to keep increasing. So it's great to see. I'm just happy to see it, and it's to continue to just keep still much work to do, but it's just continues to keep growing and everything too. So I really love seeing it as
Yeah.
well. So two more, and then I'll let you go. If just another fun one, I want to ask you if you could spend 24 hours with one athlete or coach that you could do a profile on, or to do a program with, or something like that, who would it be?
I would say, wow, this is a lot. I would say,
Put you on the spot.
I know. Dang. Oh, this is tough. Okay. I would say Asia Wilson. I actually
Hmm,
just recently finished reading her book. I like been dying to read it. I've had it here for a
right.
little bit and I just finished reading it and it was so inspiring. I felt like I related to it really well and I felt like she would resonate with a lot of people, so she would be a
Mm,
great person to
yeah.
profile. She has a lot of like accomplishments like sports wise, but I feel like profiling her on on a personal level and just really getting to know her, like I felt like when I was reading the book I was really getting to know her a lot, like how
Yeah.
she got to where she was at. Like she has dyslexia and I'm sure a lot of people don't even know that. And I was like, girl, you faced a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Persevered and you're just doing like amazing things. So like she would be somebody that I would definitely want to like just profile or spend some time with and really get to know.
Yeah, Deja Wilson for sure, like one of the all-time greats already in just in women's basketball, but just in general, just her as as a woman, just continue to do great things on and off the court. Like
Yeah.
you said, with the book, and just she resonates with a lot of people. So it's really cool to see her, and she's the best player in the world. So I mean, people like to
Mhm.
argue it, but I don't. There's no argument there.
There
Been the
it is,
best for a long time. So and it proves it every time. Champion and everything as well. So multiple champion on all levels. So she's definitely that would be a really good one. So all right, last one.
yeah.
Since it is Women's History Month, and I was so glad to profile you and feature you on this series that I'm doing, and you're a featured voice in this women in media and advertising and things like that. But what does Women's History Month mean to you on a personal and professional level?
Yeah. On a personal level, it means wow. It means that we're just like strong women. We are again multidimensional. Most women are not just they're not just a woman. They are a mother, they are a sister, they are a daughter, they are a cousin. They are superheroes. So I just
Yeah,
feel like again, that's why I love using that word like not one dimensional at all. That's how I feel about women on a personal level and how I feel about Women's Month in general is just highlighting all the work and all the adversities women have like gone through and have like done and the ones that came before me to like set me up to where I am now and like being able to kind of pay that back and hopefully be able to do the same thing is what I feel like Women's Month means. And also kind of like taking that to a professional level, where for me as a woman, I try very, very hard to always support someone who might be in my same position, might look like me, might feel some of the things that I have felt, and making sure that, they are seen, heard, and supported, because I am too a woman and they are too a woman too. And so, like, there's no one that can relate to you more than someone that might have experienced some of the same things as you, especially in a career where it's very male dominated. Um, and you might be kind of like a small person in a bigger room with a lot of loud voices. So kind of being able to be that person to kind of champion other women in this field to kind of just push themselves and put themselves out there and really be like, you have a seat at every single table you want to have a seat at.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well said. And I can't thank you enough for
Yeah.
just doing what you're doing. You're doing a lot of great work, a lot of great things. Just for the few months that I've where we connected, even though I've been following you, but really connected on this. And I'm so glad that we did through the algorithm of social media, which is a
Mhm.
good thing that can be used as a great thing when it's used right. But I really appreciate the time. Thank you for this conversation
Yeah.
as well. Let everyone know where they can follow you on social, want to reach out to you, try to get a job at the athletic, whatever it is. I'm just throwing that out there for myself, but no, but no. Where they can follow you and reach out to you as well.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me. It's been a joy being here and having this discussion and being able to talk about some of my experiences and kind of what brought me to where I'm at now and where I continue and will want to be and stuff like that. If you want to follow me, if you want to yap with me, I'm always somebody, I'm a yapper. So like I always love talking to other people. So
Yeah.
if you want to follow me on all of my social media, it should be Valerie underscore Remy. So Instagram, Twitter, I think TikTok is the same as well too. I post a lot of the same content on all of them. And then on LinkedIn, it's just my first and my last name, Valerie Remy. I'm always down to connect with people, whether people are asking for questions of working at the athletic or if they
Yeah.
just have career
Mhm.
questions. I'm always down to help and have a coffee chat or whatever the case may be.
No doubt. And everyone follow Valerie on all those platforms. And I can always say like, subscribe, all those things, share the content, everything that she does as well. And subscribe to the Athletic and keep checking out, keep supporting her as well. So again, thank you, Valerie. Many blessings to you and everything. And hopefully we can do this again at a later time as well. But I really appreciate the conversation. Appreciate your time. Thanks a
Yeah,
lot.
no problem. All right.
All right.
Thank you
Well,
for having
yeah,
me.
yeah, thank you, Ari. You have a good one and enjoy this week. And I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.